Hey guys, this is Logan from Women's History Class 345, and today I'm going to be sharing you a presentation of my interviewee who I'm going to explain in this presentation. Her name is Carol. She is 75 years old and lives in Rockford, Illinois. She is a cousin of my grandmother, and the reason I chose to interview with her is because I just thought it'd be interesting to interview her just to learn more about her because I I just thought I would have a easier time than previous inter potential interviewers. So yeah, I just so I basically asked her about her life in general as being a woman between the 50s, 70s, 60s, and 80s, and 90s, and basically she didn't have nothing to interesting to say. She she says all the women, including herself, were treated as just as the same as everyone else, so I don't think feminism or sexuality has had as big as an impact on her. But a couple of choice questions I wanted to ask her was, what was it like for her living through the assassination of John F. Kennedy in November 1963, and and she and she witnessed that when she was in her science class on that afternoon, there was actually an announcement at her school, and they were actually dismissed that day. She said her and her mother took it very hard, and as well as everyone else. And she actually said the same thing for the Ronald Reagan attempted assassination 18 years later in 1981. So and uh, another news of her personal life, she said her personal life wasn't too impacted by being a woman during the second half of the century or early part of her life. She actually married young to a man named Terry, and she became a special ed teacher and and quit temporarily to become a full-time mom to her two children, Michael and Melissa. And then she apparently went back to teaching, which she still does occasionally, even though she's retired. So her her time as a full-time mother in the 70s and 80s weren't too weren't weren't too impactful. Even though she said she enjoyed being a mom quite a lot, and being a special ed teacher was just about the same as everyone else because she wasn't too impacted by being a woman. And just to change topics, there wasn't really any issues with the interview itself. We talked for about 25 minutes, and I actually didn't make the questions beforehand. I kind of I kind of just thought of them as the interview went on. So things ha- things just things mostly happened as the interview happened. So in other words, the interview was done through Zoom because she's a couple hours away in Rockford, and this interview took place at two from about 2 o'clock to around 2:30. So yeah, we spoke like a half hour talking to each other. Then and after a few minutes after we ended, I just spoke to her more about how things were going on her. And so yeah, the interview was fine. And and one thing I learned from undertaking my interviewer and was that I don't think I don't think each woman was as drastically impacted and was as drastically impacted as we uh, as I thought it would be. So yeah, it was basically Carol's was about the same as everyone else. If I'm understanding her correctly, nothing too dramatic, nothing too nothing too out of shape. So yeah, this is my presentation, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy your day, and I'll get uh, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.